a lot of activity in the market because those rates have come down. They've come down a lot. Now, some people might not like the reasoning why they've come down, but there were some labor reports that were released and the labor numbers were not good. Okay, so that's a signal of recession coming. In fact, ELLIOT EISENBERG, the Bowtie economist, he released this week powerful predictors of a recession. There's 20 indicators that he looks at specifically. All of these things that we learned about in econ back in college that I've forgotten about. Currently, 45% of those indicators have been triggered, signaling that we are about to start a recession or we're already in one. If you look at that economic data, they're not liking what they're seeing there. That's an indication that the Fed's likely going to have pressure to cut rates, which is really, really good for housing and purchasing power in our local market. Good morning. This is Lance Kenmore with the Kenmore team, and I'd like to welcome you to this week's edition of the Tri-Cities Real Estate Update. As always, you can contact me, Lance Kenmore, anytime direct on my cell phone at 509-727-8977, or visit us on the web at kenmoreteam.com. Once again, I always like to thank John for hosting and everybody here at the station for working to make this happen. Mr. John McKay, how you doing over there?
Well, I thought we were done with summer.
Yeah. I told you this is specifically designed for realtors. Okay. I need the extra sunlight. It makes it easier to show houses. You just keep to yourself over there with
Well, I was referring to the temperatures.
Okay,
it's like,
gotcha.
okay, yeah.
Well, I will tell you, it is heating up the real estate market, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. And it gives us amazing weather for a certain event that we're going to talk about today on the show. So I am excited about that. But first, I want to get to our crazy national celebrity listings that we talk about. And I'm going to have to let the cat out of the bag here and tell you that today's show is going to be, we're going to be talking about the Parade of Homes.
Yes.
So to segue to that, the best thing I could find is the ultimate house close to a parade route.
Okay.
And that takes us to New Orleans. And there is a mansion there called the Buckner Mansion that was built in 1856.
Wow.
This thing's 9,000 square feet. It has not been on the market for nearly 30 years. The Buckners sold it in 1923. And then here, we've really been on this school theme lately. So it was actually, for a while, a school until 1983.
Wow.
And once again, back on the market. Now, get this. Here's what it's a $4 million listing.
Okay.
And there's an asterisk in the MLS that says owner financing is available with 25% down. So, McKay, if you lend me $1 million, then we can get owner financing, and we'll have a great time at Mardi Gras this year.
There you go. And it's been used, I understand, in some TV and movie things.
Yes, TV and movie. It is a beautiful, beautiful place. I was shocked when I read owner financing, so I get a kick out of that because I get calls for that all the time. So I guess price range doesn't matter in that case.
If you don't mind the humidity.
There you go. Well, you'll see John McKay and I down there at Mardi Gras partying. I'm ready. All right, back to our local real estate market. And for local news, I got to say it was driven by interest rates in the last week. A lot of activity in the market because those rates have come down. They've come down a lot. Now, some people might not like the reasoning why they've come down, but there were some labor reports that were released and the labor numbers were not good. Okay, so that's a signal of recession coming. In fact, I've talked about it on the show before. One of the economists that I pay very, very close attention to is ELLIOT EISENBERG, the Bowtie economist. He released this week powerful predictors of a recession. Okay. After there's 20 indicators that he looks at specifically. And of that group, it's like the SAM rule, the inverted yield curve, consumer sentiment, all of these things that we learned about in econ back in college that I've forgotten about. That's what he's talking about. Well, currently 45% of those indicators have been triggered, signaling that we are about to start a recession or we're already in one. That number is up in 2022 was only 10%. Okay. So if you look at that economic data, they're not liking what they're seeing there. That's an indication that the Fed's likely going to have pressure to cut rates, which is the opposite, really, really good for housing and purchasing power in our local market. So that's what we're looking at from an economic standpoint in our local market. A much more exciting, though, absolutely fun thing to talk about. One of my favorite times of the year. It's like the Super Bowl of real estate in Tri-Cities.
Yep.
And that is Parade of Homes. And so I always like to get in here on the show. He almost did not come because I now told him that we video this for the podcast. But I convinced him to come back. We have with us the executive director of the HBA, Jeff Losey. Jeff, welcome to the camera.
Thank you. I appreciate you being here. But I was looking for the makeup artist, and clearly there was nobody here.
Sorry, budget did not allow. We get to 1 million views on TikTok. I'll get you a makeup artist.
All right, sounds good. Well, I thought McKay was going to hook me up with at least some blush, but here I am.
Oh, I was good. Well, the Halloween store's not open yet.
Oh my God!
Right.
I love it. Well, Jeff, thanks for coming in. You know, from a realtor's perspective and somebody that loves property and showcasing and seeing what people can do. I love this time of year. Tell us, like, this event put on by the HBA. Just give us a little bit of history. Number one, what the HBA does and kind of how this event like this, starting right now, this weekend, how this comes about for you guys.
Yeah. So real quickly about the Home Builders Association, and I will be brief, but at the end of the day, the Home Builders Association and my job here locally is the grassroots lobbying at the county and city level of trying to do the best that we can to minimize the impact of new rules and new regulations that's going to affect and increase the price of housing. That's what the Home Builders Association does. Mm-hmm. So we are, in essence, a consumer advocate that they don't know, and that's okay, but that's what the builders and the associates and even the Lance Kenmore team pay us to go out and do, which is to advocate on everybody else's behalf to help keep those rates low. And then pivoting over to the Parade of Homes and it being around over 50 years, it is an opportunity for builders and subcontractors to showcase their latest, their talents and their crafts on things that, you know, I appreciate everything that they do in these homes because I will never have the one stamina and or ability or want to put a pile full of 2x4s together. And what they are able to do with these homes is just outstanding. And we're certainly happy and proud of what they've put together as far as products this year to put into the Tri-Cities and show the public what they can do and what they can expect if, you know, when somebody's in the market for a new home, this is the place to go over these next 5 days to take a look and see what's available.
Now, so on a very basic level, speaking of that, where can people buy tickets to the parade that are out and about this morning? And it also runs on Wednesday this next week and then the following weekend as well?
Correct. Yeah. So it's the midweek is 1 in the afternoon till 7 at night. And then also the next weekend, 9 to 5, both Saturday and Sunday. So any Circle K within the Tri-Cities area will have Parade of Homes tickets and you'll get a magazine when you get that. It's easiest to go to our website, get the app, and then there's also GPS directions to each home.
And I was looking at this beautiful magazine that you're going to get, and I don't want to say I sold the house that's on the cover, but I might have sold the house that's on the cover. So, so enjoy that greatly. And I could sell you another one, you know, just like it if you need to. So any Circle K location pricing. You've held the same pricing, which shocked me a little bit.
Yep. $10 per ticket.
$10.
$10.
So you guys are ignoring inflation. You're like the only industry not raising the price of things right now ever?
Yeah, but we did on your dues.
Okay.
So.
Oh, thanks. So I'm paid for. Okay, perfect. I love. No, I only mentioned that because this is great entertainment. I mean, you get to go see. Is there how many houses this year?
11.
11. So less than $1 a house that you get to go see. Drive around, talk to some amazing people, see different neighborhoods. I tell you what, dollar for dollar, I think that's the best ticket and entertainment in the industry right now. So the event, I think a lot of people, I hear people say in the past is, just like everything else, I feel like you guys kind of got kicked in the teeth a little bit during COVID. All events did, right? And so there was a time period, if you've been in Tri-Cities a long time ago, what was the record? Was at one point, I couldn't even do it all. Was there 30 houses one year on the parade? 40.
40.
Oh, that's like bad memory for me because in the profession, I'm kind of expected to know about all of those houses. So there was 40. No event then during COVID 1 year.
Correct.
1 year? Yep.
It was you had to call. You had to
Yes.
call to make an appointment to go visit it and wear a mask yeah.
Gotcha. And so now you guys are back. It's starting to come back. And so 11 homes this year, which I feel like is a really solid number to where you can spend some time inside the homes and remember who the builder was. If I'm being critical, 40 seems like a lot.
It is a lot, and Lance, that also left skid marks with a lot of the builders that participated then as well. So we have a cap at 20. There will never be more than 20 parade homes.
Okay, I can get my life back on those 2 weekends.
Correct.
Okay,
so it'll be 20. So we have 11, and we'd like to see a few more, and maybe next year we'll get there. But inventory levels and other pricing issues have made that difficult as well. But no, you're 100% right, and 40 is way too many. But yes, 11 is a very palatable number for everybody to go. You'll have plenty of time to find a Circle K, get a ticket, and you don't have to be rushed at any of the homes.
That is absolutely awesome. And then I guess tell me just a little bit about like the planning process for this. Like when are these builders starting to think about being in the parade, and how does that work at the HBA level?
Well, I mean, quite frankly, we start talking about it now for next year. Okay. And we want to get on the radar, especially for some of these custom homes, just because some of the permitting and the issues that they have to go through to have it ready. We start talking about and trying to get on all the builders' radar now for the next year or even the following year, because it's always about timing.
So if you like food and you like real estate, like that's pretty much Lance Kenmore. But if you put all of that together, you have Chefs on Parade. So, Jeff, tell us a little bit about how this comes about and what that looks like this year.
Well, we are excited to bring it back. It's one night only this year. It's Thursday night, September 12th. And the best thing about it is, one, you also, yes, you get to sample food. And if you are over 21, which it is a 21 and over event, so make sure that you are.
Please make sure you are.
There's beer and or wine that's available at 4 of the 6 homes. And it just lends the opportunity, one, to also see the homes at night from 5 to 9 p.m., and then you can enjoy some of our past Chefs on Parade winners. Those are the folks that we went to first to ask them to come back because, one, they're creative, and 2, they also enjoy helping our builders showcase their homes in a different light, which is the evening light, which for some of them is absolutely stunning.
Yeah, and I was looking through. I mean, you've got some all-stars in there. You got Frost Me Sweet, Monte Rosas, The Social, Hot Mess. I mean, yeah, you've got some superstars in there for sure.
We do. And I remember from The Social when Mark participated with us before, it was with a different restaurant, but at that time he had brought some barbecued crickets. And well, I mean, that's what he brought then. I'm not suggesting that they're going to happen this time, but like they think outside the box, and it was pretty cool for the shock factor, and they were crunchy. And delicious.
I love this. We just took a left turn off the Tri-Cities Real Estate Update to barbecue crickets, and it's all with the Parade of Homes and Chefs on Parade. Now, I do, as this is going on, timely matter this morning, I don't want anybody to get their hopes up. Those tickets, those went on sale months ago or a month ago, and they are sold out, is my understanding. Is that
sold
correct?
out. Correct.
Okay. So next year, let's say this event is back, roughly what timing would people want to be looking for those to go on?
Well, it's
sale?
it's July, and what we do is we let everybody that has a ticket, and the number of tickets they have this year, can purchase that same amount. So we give them 2 weeks to retain their allotment, if you will.
Okay, got you. So,
and then we open it up after that, so mid-July.
Okay, sounds good. Because as you can imagine, for an event like that, you have to limit the number of tickets because, I mean, you can't have food for 10,000 people and at different homes that also need to be resold. So,
yep.
Now that kind of brings me to another question, Jeff. And I know when you look at having an event like this, there's always somebody that's not happy with something. But I just want to point out a few things. Is we have $1 million homes likely, and there's different price ranges. But let's say there's $1 million homes. And then we have strangers coming through those. And some of these homes were custom built homes that might already be sold. And so now you have people drinking wine and beer and eating food in somebody else's brand new house. I don't think anything could go wrong. and so there's got to be some etiquette here. So let's talk a little bit about parade etiquette, like when people go on the Parade of Homes, what should they expect as they go out to tour homes this weekend? And what should they be thinking about from a rules and etiquette standpoint?
Well, I think the first thing is whether you're on the parade or you're doing the Chefs on Parade, which is a smaller group, is one, you have to be prepared to take your shoes off. Because the floors and the finishes that are in those homes, we definitely want to protect those the best that we can. And we also want to make sure that they're being shown in their best light, which is not listen, some people don't wear shoes, and those toe prints all over whether it's marble or granite or whatever it is, it doesn't leave you with the best first impression. And so that's what we're trying to make sure is that everybody sees them in the best light. And so coming prepared to, one, take your shoes off. And we provide, Hapo has been a great sponsor and supplies all of the booties. And if for some reason you went the first weekend and you're going out on Chefs and you need another pair, not a problem.
Awesome.
We'll give you another pair.
And I got to say, just for people that don't understand, because I have had some I've worked numerous multiple years at the parade door, and I have had some knockdown, drag out fights with people about something so dumb as taking your shoes off. And I got to tell you, and a lot of people will just absolutely have almost a fist fight with me about putting their booties. Why can't I just put my booties on over my shoes? Well, I worked at a house that had $30,000 of hardwood floors in it, and somebody put a bootie on over their shoe, and they had a sharp rock stuck in the treads of the shoe. It cut through the bootie, and there were scratches all over. Those hardwood floors had to be refinished. I was there and witnessed it, and you only do that once before you have a builder absolutely just come unglued. So it's just one of those things where you have to say, like, really, you have to be prepared to slip those shoes off and then put the booties on at that point. So I just, because I've seen it firsthand, and it's, some people say it's an anomaly, but we have to protect those products for the end user as much as we possibly can.
Well, because I think if it was your house,
oh my gosh,
you'd hope somebody would respect it the same way.
Yeah, it was terrible. Okay, so shoes off, booties. What else?
Well, I think the other important thing too is plan your hydration to be around opposite of when you're attending the parade, because the restrooms that you're going to walk by in these homes are not for the consumer's use. And so you won't find toilet paper on the roll, and there's a reason why, which is because they don't intend on you using it.
Yes.
So plan your emergencies somewhere other than the parade homes, because we want to keep those toilets as pristine as they were when you walked in.
Yes, and you sound like a guy who has also experienced some issues at the parade homes. So Yeah, that is not the bathrooms in the homes are not for use. I appreciate that, and that's another good tip for sure.
And the other biggest one that happens every single year is for some reason everybody wants to turn on the shower head, the faucet, and because there are some super cool showers with like 12 heads coming down, and everybody wants to see what that looks like. And then the next person comes in, and of course their feet are wet, and we've got other issues, and we've had people slip and fall down and as a result of the water on the floor. So please do not turn on the spigots.
Okay,
Yes.
I don't want to encourage people, because the place to see that, if you ever get a chance, is to go to the International Builder Show in Las Vegas, and there is a Kohler booth. So we only turn on showers at the Kohler booth in Las Vegas, and that is an amazing trade show to see if you want to see a shower.
And in that same booth, you can turn on the bidets, and they don't hit you in the face. Like that's great.
You can do everything at those, but not at our local Tri-Cities.
Not this one.
But parade of homes. Well, Jeff, that's really, really good information about what's happening with the parade of homes. You touched on a little bit in the beginning, an advocate for more affordable housing. I can't tell you how often we have heard that over the course of the last 2 years as prices and materials have naturally appreciated. What do you guys try to help control on your side of that equation?
Well, the only thing that we can do at this level is when the permits and fees are collected at the local level, are those going into and staying into the building and planning department and not going into the general fund and being absorbed somewhere else that's completely different from where that cost is being created. So we can work with that. The state level and the federal level, those issues, we've got lobbyists in Olympia. We have lobbyists in DC. They work on those bigger issues, but that's where we focus, is just on the permitting fees that happen at the local level to make sure that they're just not disappearing somewhere in the general fund, but they're actually staying in the building and planning department.
Absolutely. And I mean, from somebody that deals with an end user and sees those first-time home buyers, and any buyer for that matter, that's a big deal, because those costs, we know those costs have creeped up over the years, and every little bit that they can shave off of that makes a big difference. And so, and then you had the double whammy of interest rate increases. It was a real shock to a lot of people, not to mention what we talked about with commissions becoming decoupled, and a buyer also having that on the block as well. So, So a lot going on in that industry. From somebody that does this day in and day out, huge thank you from us, even though you said you increased my dues. A huge thank you from us for putting this event on, giving our customers something to go look at. I encourage anybody that's looking at building over the course of the next 2 years to go to the Parade of Homes, take a bunch of pictures with your cell phone, take some notes, find a trade that you like, find a detail that you like, and a builder that you get along with. And then if you have any questions about that process at all, you can always go to kenmoreteam.com, shoot us a message. We can have one of our agents help walk you through that process and get you in touch with the people that you need to, for sure. Well, Jeff, I know that at this moment, right now, there's a problem. You have 11 houses to go take care of. There's probably a booty problem somewhere that you have to go address.
That's with a T.
Yes, absolutely. And
it
so
has to do with feet.
So I'm going to let you get out of here and go take care of that. And thanks again for agreeing to be filmed for this. We appreciate having you. And folks, we'll be right back here next week.
Right here on News Talk 87.